vakavinavinaka, very good afternoon. Warm welcome to the second quarter-final match here at Cakobau Park in Nausori. And of course, it's going to be a cracker. Ovalau coming all the way from the ditch, taking on Rewa, who last week upset Nasinu to book themselves a quarter-final. And of course, with me, the one and only Koli. Looking forward to a great game this afternoon, my brother.
Yes, man, kani sa mulman na turang kini marama thorba unong nila butal kini bikim ni kansaran do bitu ko na mate time RewaRugby merau may binresu ganim bulu butal kini na may buci wani wawa na sigini kuwa non romay so mate time ni Rewa kabatal kini na mate time ni Ovalau na ovake erdo kay.
This is the second quarter-final match for the Vodafone Vanua Championship. Of course, earlier on this afternoon, Northland booked their semi-final spot. And now Rewa coming up against the challenge of Ovalau. Ovalau bringing a lot of experience, have been at the big game. And of course, good kickoff, good pressure coming in from Rewa in the black and white stripe. Ovalau in the traditional green. It's the first penalty to Ovalau. I think it was a high tackle, yeah. Rewa will have to be careful. Last week, Rewa built their entire game around disrupting Nasinu, not allowing Nasinu to settle into the traditional game plan, which is why Rewa's in the quarterfinal, facing off against this very experienced team from Ovalau. And of course, Ovalau, this will be the first time they travel from Ovalau to the mainland for this quarterfinal, Koli.
Iya, din na matitimin ni Ovalau ko, pambuta levu bikin siyempre ko ni sarap na nandutong gito na matitimin ni Ovalau. Iya, nasi ni kuha santar kamay sarap ang dramay bukan tinitaka na tawa erto may porta na matitimin ni Ovalau. Veika na nasi ni kuha. Matitimin ni Rewa erto na sanga, merto na marra na rarang ko.
First line out to Ovalau, looking for space. Takes the tackle strongly, gets the ball away, but this is the problem for Ovalau. They need to be careful. Pressure coming in from Rewa. Looks to the open side, tries to get the ball away. Defense from Ovalau is up quickly. Both teams with a lot of salt and vinegar in the first half, looking for the intercept. Pressure coming from Ovalau, Rewa with possession. Laying the ball on the ground. Penalty. Great crowd this afternoon, Koli. A lot of fans came in from Ovalau to watch this one.
Sanjena tutokan din ha reda matang natutolo ningi tur to porta jungko na matitimin ni Rewa au reda tunga natutolo to porta dal cuma na matitimin ni Ovalau nir to bia porta ka nir to lok to mengo erto sa hungry.
That's right, but Vodafone Vanua Championship Rugby, all teams trying to do whatever it takes to make it through to the Skipper Cup next season. Rewa the upset winners over Nasinu last week. Ovalau coming in champions from their division. Tindalu with the ball, the hooker for Ovalau. This will be their second line out. Pressure coming from Rewa, but Ovalau get the ball taken nicely by Valangi, the halfback. High kick from the number 10, Tubuningili. Coming through is pressure from Ovalau. Rewa have the ball, but under tremendous pressure from Ovalau. Rewa back in possession, charge down from Ovalau, ball's alive. It's bouncing, there's an opportunity for Ovalau.
Oh,
looking for the referee to see what he says. He signals under the post. Sayaw, big pressure coming in from Ovalau on that occasion. Koli, what do you reckon, brother?
Sanjena erto sa porta matay nga ni mamamatay ni Polo na kinala ko tumay nalalo kan gito to porta na matitimin Rewa. Reda na matitimin ni Ovalau na kau erto ko tumay. Erto may porta ka. Natuna ikaw tumengo, natuna.
Pressure coming from Ovalau. Try score on the screen now, Valangi, the number 9. Great try, Rewa unable to control the bouncing ball. Pressure coming through from Ovalau. Just what the fans from Ovalau wanted. Quick try, and now the conversion in front of the posts from the fullback Deve.
Sanjena apa mo tanin sarap to kumain na nanonood gito na matitimin na Eastern Division iya daritong ko na ilolo kan gito to porta cuma na nok darito lang tumikin ko na matitimin ni Ovalau kau talaga na gito duru talaga kina
7-0 Ovalau take the early lead. Rewa will really have to be careful. Ovalau come with a lot of experience, a lot of power play. They've been in the top division before Ovalau, so this is good opportunity for them to make it back into the Skipper Cup. Hopefully challenge for the shield.
Mulai with the ball.
Nice high kick from Bulai. Good take from Ovalau. Gets it to the number 8, Tamata. Breaks through the first tackle. Ovalau back with possession. They'll want to run the ball. Manages to get the pass away nicely. Huge shot coming in from the Rewa defense, and they get the ball back. Ref says play on. Rewa with possession inside the 22 of Ovalau. Ovalau defense needs to reset. This is where Rewa really strong from Valangi and Bulai. They had a great game last week. Good combination. They're just inside the 22, looking for open space. Taking the time by Langi. He has the ball, hands it over the prop, Bosse. Bosse loses position. Ovalau with the ball. Tries to get the field to Korembola. Bola doesn't get the pass. Ref says play on. Great opening first half for this Vanua Championship, Koli.
Reda na ilaka di gitu ko nandro au bukan itu main nandu itu ya nanti ko na mata tim Rewa apa mata kali nandro sota na mata tim ni Rewa kena mata tim ni sino na ko ni fos ko ni backline yo reda juga nandro sota ko na mata tim ni Ovalau kena mata tim ni Rewa reda ni ko sarangay na san Rewa yang tagir manda na puno ram na sanga mi kena meron na rani rawata kena nanganga ni sino ko yung ngon mata ko Ovalau salut ko na bitu kesen.
Yeah, both teams need to calm it down. Shoulder charge. That's a warning to Bosse from Rewa. Yeah, he took out the number 4 with the shoulder. So he nullifies the knock on the referee. Shoulder charge is the call. Penalty to Ovalau.
Mati tim ni Rewa meron na rin na katiko na matanggali sa lalay wanggo eh.
Yeah, as we see, nice high hanging kick. Tries to get as much distance, takes it out to the halfway. Ovalau with another opportunity. Dalu with the throw in. You want to get it to Toke as soon as possible. Good win. Olangi with the ball to the open side. Korembola once again with the pass. Nice clean out. Ovalau back trying to stack the left side, but a solid shot. Woo! Really?
Sotava.
That's just a reminder from the Rewa defense.
This is our territory.
That's right. They are playing at home. That was a good, solid shot from Rewa. Now the line out to Rewa. This will be the first line out. Tindaku with the ball. Had a good game last week there. Their line out taken there nicely by Tamata. Spread wide once again through the Rewa backs. Solid hard run there on that occasion. Wutu takes the ball. Nice big run from the number 4 Langi. Gets it back onto the open side. Good defense coming in from Ovalau. Rewa still with possession. It's advantage to Rewa. Bosse with the big run. Big prop. Led Rewa throughout this entire campaign very strongly with these solid runs. It's a free play for Rewa. Another big shot coming in from the open side. Ovalau. Korembola. Been very heavy in the thick of things in the early parts of the first half. High kick from Bulai. Manages to get across. Rewa and Ovalau both fighting for possession. Rewa back with the ball, but a knock on. Fresh advantage to Rewa. There's an open side play. Goes for the chip. But the ball goes out. And I think it might be a scrum to, line out 22. Pressure coming in from Rewa. This is what they did against Nasino last week, Koli.
Iya kan dia tu ko urto na matatim ni urto biya parta talaga gol na non turara. Urto na pinakata merto na maro redo tu na ilako na gitu urto porta cuma na matatim ni Ovalau nakukuha kan urto di mana pola mata na non urto backline. Iya urto gay parta talis dal juga na matatim ni Rewa. Non urto backline urto biya porta ka. Kitu talaga kitu ran ni. Roka ni tu backline.
Here we go. Line out taken. Everyone's fighting for it. Ovalau get it. They want to clear it out quickly. Not the best of passes. Under pressure from the Rewa defense coming through. Manages to break through the first tackle. Quimbao on that occasion from Ovalau, but a penalty holding on to the ball. It took too much time to clear it out of the pressure area. Ovalau. This allowed the Rewa defense to reset. Another penalty to Rewa. Ref marches Ovalau another 10 meters. Bulai gets a talking to by the referee. A little bit too enthusiastic on that occasion. First solid opportunity for Rewa, Koli.
As you can see, both number 10 is Mbulay, eh?
So it's either one person playing two positions or two separate people.
Totoo din na naririnig ito rumay protection matitimirua. Wow! Sa new nga kay Manray arida matang abir na sara levu bira sara tu teke sara tunga non naririnig ko ni sa kampo korjung ko na matitimirua.
For Rewa, last week, Palangi, the number 9 in Bulai, had a great combination. The number 9 for Rewa, Palangi, those sniping runs against Nasino really made it difficult for Nasino to settle into their game plan. Let's see how Ovalau handled this week. No doubt they were watching that game last week. Of course, quarterfinal rugby of the Vodafone Vanua Championship. Big scrum coming for Rewa. Ovalau have dominated in the forwards in all of their games leading up to this quarterfinal. We'll have to see how they do. First scrum of the match, pressure scrum for Ovalau. Rewa get the feed, trying to go for the push. Here it comes, advantage to Rewa, big shove coming from the Rewa pack. Advantage to Rewa, he tries to get over the try line. Have a look at what the ref says. We'll have to check with the lines, but what do you reckon, Koli, did he get over?
Awang bauta erosi ni Reda Roro na skoya. Menangay Reda Mantana na rubo telawa.
Looks like it was held up. Good pressure coming from the Rewa scrum. And another Rewa penalty.
Iya already tu kan ilok-ilok ni gitu ko artu waktu balakin non tu scrum na matitimin di Rewa. Awang bauta ni WMB binakan non tu forge ni waktu watan na kin na non tu forge na mata sauti non rusot dapat na matim na sino.
Yeah. This is the platform that we have used to build and of course make it through to the quarterfinals. Forwards are very agile, very fit. They got a great number 9 in Balangi. We had a great tournament so far, the Vodafone Vanua Championship. Another big push coming from Rewa. As they hold it at the base, Tamata has the ball, but I think it might be a penalty try, Koli.
Wakan dua, untuk na penalty try kina mata timin Rewa. Kau talaga tal tumay kina nando tokai kina Vitu. Ngau nago rautai Ovalau Vitu Rewa Vitu.
Yeah. Rewa scrum dominating, completely dismantling the Ovalau forwards. That's the platform that Rewa has used to make it through to this quarterfinal. You see the big boys of Rewa taking a great, well-earned break after that really dominating scrum. Tindaku and Sukumbula, the forwards for Rewa, really setting a good platform. Now it's 7-all. Nice high hanging kick, pressure coming through from Ovalau. Great take by the Rewa side. They have possession, but now a penalty to Ovalau just inside the 22. Taken quickly the tap by Korimbola. He takes it up strongly, fighting his way to the 10-meter line. Ovalau have men on the open side if they decide to take it that way. Pressure coming through from Rewa. Ref says play on. Bit slow coming out of there. See if Korimbola made the right call. Fighting his way up to number 8, Tamata. Defense coming through from Ovalau. Rewa trying to hold them up. They have the ball. They're about 5 meters short, Ovalau.
Totoo kan elok ni gitu buat tadi korona mati timerua. Reda gori, umba itu sudah gori tu nama tadi meni Ovalau.
Yeah. Fighting their way forward. Looks like a bit of a fumble. The ref says play on. And I think it's going to be a not forward, so it's going to be a scrum to Rewa.
Warau merton na wirilo manis kram gore mata tim ni Rewa. Karton na sangatal tunga merton na kauta libi mana polo may nayasa ni Rara nortu Rara mertu kuto maikin nortu yasin Rara na mata tim ni Ovalau.
Yeah, both forwards need to take a break. There's an injury. crowd really getting into this afternoon. We've got a great crowd this afternoon, Koli.
Kandi na totoo din na oiran na lini bunua ra tonggon to veitokoni ina mata time Rewa.
As we see the fans enjoying a wonderful afternoon of rugby here in Nausori. Rewa playing at home. Looking forward to a great game, Koli.
Iya kandi na totoo. Oke langsung kita tunggu sekarang bikin mata tim Ovalau. Lutu talbek na pola ya.
Medic's coming off. Referee setting the scrum. Everything that you'd expect from a quarterfinal clash between two of these great teams, Rewa and Ovalau. Yeah, I think yes. Scrum feed to Rewa. They have the dominating scrum. Big push coming. They're trying to get an advantage. Ref is holding his hand out. Yes, it is a penalty. They have a free play, Rewa. See if they can get the ball away. Doesn't opt to pass. Pressure coming in from Ovalau. I think the ref will blow up for the penalty. But he switches it. Strangely enough, he switches it. But I think, yeah, halfback gets a talking to. So he marches them now. Oh, back chat. Talking back to the referee. Marching Rewa another 10 minutes. Yeah. Zero tolerance. Oh, yes. Quarterfinal rugby, eh?
Iya.
Do or die this one.
Aran no wanti teki man tapi ron na ruo me bako overta to ron halfback. Valangi. Is still both Valangi or?
No, different Valangi this time. Lock 7-all, brother.
Totoo ka sir nga na gori mbay tarata kami goro to na mata tim ni Ovalau.
Big push coming from Ovalau.
Ito na sang-sanga na mata tim ni Ovalau, meron to na litang bakatal to na skuang ko.
Managed to set the line out. Pressure coming through from Ovalau. They'll want to get the ball. They have a big overlap on the open side, but they're going to keep it with their forwards for now.
Orada chungo mabautan ni orto na mata tim ni orto sa kalavinaka na wala ni kartu biya takap cuma Ovalau. En nabi kay sorto overta cuma mata tim na sino na mata saut ya.
Yes, as they take it through the open side with the set piece play, tries to cut back in, fumbles the ball. Defense comes in for Rewa, strong that time. Manages to lose the ball forward, and yes, it is a penalty to Rewa. They opt for the tap and go, trying to get another 10 meters. Ref says no. Good pressure from Ovalau, but great defense from Rewa on that occasion, Koli.
Toka makautin na nanggito rumay porta kan mata tim Rewa. En singin kuah. En nanuto bito sa gitu ka. En sa nanuto reda ni Rewa to boto binasar nga. Nanuto forward. Kina backline ka batal kina na pace. Rewa bito ruti ko en singin kuah. Nanuto line out na mata tim ni Rewa.
Good pressure relieving kick. They'll have the line out on the 10-meter line. Pilato with the throw in. You want to get it in quickly. Pressure coming from Ovalau. They make it disrupting, but of course advantage to Ovalau. Good disruption in the line out from Ovalau, Koli.
Toka mo ko tinanonrito ka toka na line out na mata tim ni Ovalau. Sultan tunggo berutong na Oi, aray lutum ba kay Liu, may pang namata tim ni Rewa? Totoo mo oti, nanonoto, ubo ka, perpereta ka toka. Sir to bakaratan, nanonoto line out namata tim ni Rewa.
As the ref has a chat to Samu, the halfback for Rewa. There's all good halfbacks, he's always trying to make it difficult for the ref. Gets it in there, big push from Rewa. Ovalau get the ball out quickly, but the pressure coming through from Rewa on that occasion. Using their big forwards to pile through. A lot of pressure on Ovalau. Needs to get the ball out quickly. Plays it quickly. Ovalau caught behind the game line. They're under pressure. But they managed to reset and they've kept possession. Kamata with the high kick. Doesn't get any distance whatsoever. Free play. Knock on there to Rewa. Ovalau with the advantage. And of course, pressure play coming through.
kau nang gitu patalankin na wir nandun veitokoni na koko talangan ni nondra support ka patalankin na nondra chia taka juga na nondra mata tim na sugani ko
Scrum feed.
nondra tu scrum tu goren na mata tim ni Ovalau. Lalu itu na totolo na mata tim Rewa kina pes Rewa taka tiko gor pertama goren tu nampak tiko tu goren na mata tim ni Ovalau.
Nice take there from the mate, but a knock on in advantage to Rewa. Good power play. But unfortunately, Koli, handling is a bit difficult in these conditions because of the weather.
Hindi na totoko. May pagkatalangan tayo dito ng goren na lumanirara ni biya suo to kapatalang kina na polo na raw talanga ni nasisisi. Kaya pagkaroon na rin na mata tim Rewa, merto ng garo na pinasarang nanuto din ko na polo, patalang kina na kinapastak. May baka na erdo ka na kinataw na basics walang ay yung nodrau vinaka patalang kina na kinamaroy na pinitala iso karani na patata na nanuto sa sang.
As the Rewa fans start to get into this game. Good feed, strong scrum from Rewa. Nice handoff, Ovalau with possession, but under pressure from the Rewa forwards. Defense for Rewa very strong this afternoon. Under pressure kick, nice and high, get some distance, chasing his own kick. Good take from the number 23 from Rewa. Another good solid take. Advantage. Ref still playing advantage to Rewa. They're inside the red zone of Ovalau. They have a great open, nice, good, solid run from the forwards of Rewa. Getting the ball across. Options on both sides. Big run coming from the forwards of Rewa. They're inside the 22. They're on attack. They have possession. Cut out pass. Juggles the ball. Ref says play on. Wasn't lost forward. Rewa still in possession inside the 22 of Ovalau. Penalty to Rewa, offside Ovalau. Tap and go from Rewa. He needs support. He's about 5 meters short of the try line. Pressure coming through from Ovalau. Rewa have possession. Now the big run coming from the Rewa forwards. Ovalau under tremendous pressure, but looks to be a knock-on. It's an advantage to Rewa. Deliberate knockdown, so they have a free play taken by the prop Ikando. He has the ball, taking it up strongly. Pick and drive from Rewa. They have a huge open side Rewa if they want it. Another pod set up from Rewa. Ovalau defense trying to make it difficult, disrupting Samu with possession. Looking for his forwards. Cuts out and breaks from the first tackle, but he's hit the wrong way. He's about half a meter short. Ref says play on. Another big drive coming in from Kinichochi. The locks, and it looks to be a knock-on, but it is a penalty advantage. Wadava Koli.
Wah, doa anak-anak koko ni presar to bertajung ko na mata tim ni Rewa. Kartu sanga merto mbote ata ka ni luto ila tin tata ngumaki na mata tim ni Ovalau. Kau na kartu sin cuma na mata tim ni Ovalau. Kau talanga na ilok-ilok ni gitu to bertajung ko na mata tim ni Rewa.
What do you think? Go for the 3 points or go for the scrum?
Oleh itu kami bukan di urto koko cun tu scrum na mata tim ni Rewa. Apa mota? Ina rebina ka merto na suli ento na scrum kina mata tim ni Ovalau.
Get an injury break. A lot of pressure on the Ovalau forward pack. Not surprised that there's an injury. High pressure. Quarterfinal match. 7-all. Yeah, they're going for the scrum, Koli. Rewa forwards. Big game. Big push coming from Rewa. Advantage, that's what they wanted. Open side, free play, cut out pass. Trying to get the wing unmarked on the side, and I think it's a try to Rewa Koli.
Saan siya na? Doon na skowa, kinamatatimini Rewa. May Vakarauwai na to wing. Na to blind wing.
Great try to Rewa on that occasion. Well worked try from based on some great defensive pressure from Rewa, using their forwards to set up a great base for attack. Ovalau had no chance. Rewa 12, Ovalau 7 with the kick to come.
Yarito ko rin parutan kitong goryo ole simbulay may na matatimini Rewa ang go indo talaga nongon ni kitang vinaka kung nongon ni manatin parang ko.
On the sideline, about a half a meter out. Slices it to the left. But Rewa with a 12-7 lead midway through the first half. This quarterfinal, everything you expected, Koli, from a great match between these two great teams.
Ya kan dia natuto ko ya nagay rito pa mata tim ni Rewa natutokan ni non na vesulya ko to na polo na non to halfback o samu balangi ngo endo na daro sambu wasakit non gito non to gito ka pa mata tim ni Rewa en nabi bono so ken na raya rida en na bono me vesulya ken na polo ken mata di me ke merto me ketaka meranir to ya ken na to line score.
Nice high kick from Ovalau. No one chasing through, gives Rewa a chance to set their defense. Just outside the 22, Rewa with possession. Tries to get the ball away quickly. Center of the field. Straight line defense coming up from Rewa on that occasion, but a good kick from the fullback from Ovalau. Possession back with Rewa. They're looking to run it. No. There's no one back there. Just the number 8 for Ovalau. Isinai is the only one there. Support coming through. Pressure from Rewa. Tackle behind the game line. That's a good overall win for Rewa, and of course good foresight from the Rewa first five to not see the fullback there, Chochi.
Yo, me baka ore da pembalo na ngito kena bikali ngito cuba berto na lalango o lesim bulai batali kena samu balangi kapatali kena kena nutu na batin kan tin kalima o pinisa na nutu fullback untuk nak na to tolo kena lewa matau tiga berto na darubo tolungo en nutu bimbita kana polo kena buno merto sesanga kena meranir to li tambakaro kena score.
Another big scrum coming up for Rewa. Ovalau need to really make it difficult, disrupt them, not make it easy for Rewa to push this one over.
Yo, kila binakatu na matitim ni Rewa ni kuku tuno to foja pembota. Gona buno gor tuno sang amer tuno bilrak kina na foja ni Ovalau.
Second push coming from Rewa, getting the momentum. They have the advantage. They're looking to solidify and get another try. Breaks down, but they have the advantage. Ref's hands out. They're about a meter short. Balls all over the place. Samu with possession, goes for the dummy, tries to dive over.
Anjana.
No, he's still short. Another big push coming from the Rewa forwards. Slow ball coming through. Samu looking for options on both sides. Ball is available. It's a free play for Rewa. They set up another pod. Combo has the ball. Gets it back. Inichochi with another run. They're still only a meter out, and they're on the open side. There's some space there. Tries to get over to the try line. I think he may have scored the try for Rewa.
Score.
It's a score. Yeah, defense couldn't get over fast enough. So one if Ovalau tried, but unfortunately he was short. And a great try to Rewa Koli.
Great try. Nanu mo tiko me baka ama usapportati ko na combination chuko berto na tulungo. o samu balangi bataliki no lesim bulai ka bataliki na biya pinisa ina non to reda toka na bibo no so merto bimbeta kina polo rawa ser merto sali tamba kina skoa kau to kena kena toka ina ngono ngono mati timin rewa tin ka bitu na mati timin Ovalau.
Yeah, Ovalau's under a lot of pressure now.
Waro merto tangi tonggori na mati timin ni rewa na to namba roso nga puluh kali.
Penny, he had a great game coming on last week against the Sinu as a substitute. He's got a great boot on him as well. About half a beat out from the sideline, 10 meters out from the 22. Got the height, he's got the distance, does he have the direction? Unfortunately, no. It's still 17-7 to Rewa. And of course, a handy lead for Rewa in the first half, Koli.
Kantina todo ko tu panti tegir tu na matitimin Rewa en matani bi mamango matitimin Ovalau ke bakar to na pinakata merto na panti tagi en le ni timi ne rebina ka merto na mbito talendo na poindi kin to kai merawa ni na panti tegir tu ko en lo ni gyuta na matani bi mamango.
Nice high hanging kick, good take from Rewa. They have possession just short of the 22. They want to get the ball out quickly, not allow Ovalau to put any pressure. Allows the ball to bounce once again. Isinai having a bit of an issue with his confidence. Now more pressure coming through from Rewa, Koli. They really want to take an early lead and not allow Ovalau into this game, Koli.
Kandia na todo ko bebo kan dari tu ko na matitim ni Rewa en lo menino tong kito ke na kau nia botongo bebo kan o sa porta jong ko nirtol ko man na puna lolombo na dorobon di Rewa ko ye na ngau nertu so membutu kina puna mamata redang na tang kirto ta kabatiko nirtu tang ke mayasa na e kau to sarang ilimo sang puna mita ngerenia do kina puna renia do kina polo.
Pressure coming through from Rewa. Ovalau have the ball but they're inside their own 22. They're opting to run the ball from inside their 22. This is very risky. And it is a penalty. They were lucky on that occasion. Shoulder charge, or it's a high tackle. But Ovalau with the penalty, Koli.
Iya, doon na puno tanga merto na rin na tungko na matatim ni Rewa en non ruto bipesu merto na rin binaka. Abatang kina na matim ni Ovalau.
Gets good distance on the kick. Around the halfway line. Yeah, midway between the 10 and the half is where the line out will be. Ovalau really need to get into the other half, get some possession, maintain the rhythm, build some attacking phase. Keep moving these big Rewa forwards around, tire them out if they can. Good line out take from Ovalau. They have possession, they're setting up a drive. Not really going anywhere. No advantage, play on. Goes for the old-fashioned up and under. Chases are coming through, but there is space. Rewa have the ball. Good tackle from Ovalau on that occasion. They have the advantage for the knock-on. Ovalau, this is what they want. Around near the halfway line, but it's fragmented. Rewa defense comes up quickly. But it is a penalty now. Advantage to Ovalau. He goes for the tap and go. Breaks the first, looking for support. He needs men to help him out. Good pass. Great pass back on the inside. Get to the open side of Ovalau. So Wani has the ball. Had a good first half for Ovalau. But unfortunately, Koli.
Mau usaran na kena ya. Non to nakuko ni non to kuta tak tumana polo. Pampimpi ko na dorbo kuta tak tumana polo ya. Nakuko ay kuta mai ken idengo ay kuta tak mai. May mo wala saran to baka wala na wala nga. En sana ka may babuna ken may kubital virtu na polo. Sultel to be erto na mata timini raw ko into na scrum.
Frustration from Ovalau. So one in the open side, had the great run. Unfortunately, as medics give treatment to an injured Ovalau player. Of course, this great crowd settling in for a wonderful afternoon of rugby, Koli.
Ya, tutok serangan na re-running gitu rusulnya nama tati merua. Kabat lagi na nakena kau. Tutolo ni gitu. Rubar takat ko ni singini kuah. Na timerua may rekena na forward. Kabat lagi na kena backline sa sota. Reder na leni punua. Tapi entah veitokoni nonra marutaka. Nonra may saraba. Cetak juga nonra tim ni singini kuah.
That's right. Nowhere else better to be than the Vodafone Vanua Championship quarterfinals. Two big teams coming in for this really awesome clash.
Rembul-rembul na ngonelo ni Ovalau. Ngori, eremeke o irna do rubon lamin rara. Putal lagi na ngonelewa. Non remeke toga en wali sara en non recia taka juga non remate tim ya.
Yeah. As we have an injured Ovalau player being taken. Barasico comes on in the number 18 jersey. As we have this scrum, defensive scrum for Rewa. Alangin want to get the ball out quickly, but the scrum for Rewa has been dominant this afternoon, Koli.
Kandi na tudo ko abang butan ni tusang kay Willie May en non tumulmulmun en scrum kota kami gura mata tim ni Rewa.
Long kick taken just outside the 22 by the fullback for Ovalau. Rakes it back, doesn't have much of an angle, but a good kick from the Ovalau fullback. Quick throw in, nice high hanging kick. Both teams eager to relieve pressure. Ovalau looking for runners on the outside. Solid shot, good take there from there. Breaks the first tackle, breaks the second, gets the pass. Open side play for Rewa. It's a run for the line. The defense coming across. Manages to get him, but of course Rewa still have possession. Unfortunately, that was a loss. Ref blows it up. I think it's going to be a knock-on advantage to Ovalau as we have an injured Rewa player on the ground. Pressure kick coming through. Good clearance. Ball goes. Still in play, taken by the fullback for Rewa. This is one of their danger players for Rewa as he breaks the first tackle but loses it forward. Advantage to Ovalau. Koli, it's getting a bit scrappy.
Yeah, scrappy walay na kinaya na buko ni nonro sanga ko merto ko bena polo na matitim ni Ovalau. Toto ka berto na matitim ni Rewa, aure ka berto na matitim ni nonro to buatlo. Kaya kami arto asira katalinisan do na polo. Na buko ni nonro to sa gitu tung maya sanako. Kerto sira kan sento abang bota niya via talon ron rumena kina nutong gitu iya totoka na butilawa may ref nangonang ko selte tigun do na scrum kina matitim ni Ovalau.
Ovalau scrum under a lot of pressure from Rewa. They'll need to get the ball out quickly. Get it down the other side of the park. You can see Rewa eager to push. Good clean out from Ovalau on that occasion. Getting the ball out quickly. Getting the clearing kick through. High kick. Nice take from the fullback from Rewa. Apinisa on that occasion. Ball still alive. Ovalau have possession. Goes for the old-fashioned up and under. Chasing his own kick. Out on the full. Bad mistake from Ovalau on that occasion. Rewa with the line out, about 10 meters short of the 22. This will not bode well for Ovalau. Rewa forwards know they have the advantage. They're taking their time walking to the lineup. Lato, the hooker for Rewa. Another opportunity for Rewa to build on this lead. Ovalau defense will need to stay strong, Koli.
Yeah. Mulai.
Here they go, unleashing the Rewa backs, cutting against the grain one-handed, but it's a penalty to Rewa, offside. Offside in the line out, so it's another penalty. They're about 20 meters out, just to the left of the uprights, and they're going for the penalty, trying to build on this lead, colleague. Eh?
Mata-mata.
Rewa playing very smart rugby this afternoon, making it difficult for Ovalau to settle into their game, Koli.
Iya, upo sarap to man nurutong gito na matitim ni Rewa nang gito to may sulit na sini kuasa to na kana matalia en kana binaka nga manasa na ruru pero to no force batalang kina backline pumbutin to sa lirida kabuli to binasarang man to malmulumo en nabuko ning gito sauti kartu manggaraba karon nirto may pabunata ka en ilang ni gito kanda rabati ko en sige ni kuwa.
Bulai lining up the kick, about 20 meters out. Got the height, got the distance. Doesn't have the direction. Rewa still maintain that 10-point lead. Ovalau breathe a sigh of relief. Ovalau will take the 22. Long low kick. Taken by Bulai, looking for runners on the outside. Manages to get the ball, unfortunately just lost the ball. Ref blows it up.
Saan dyan na? Rito man na
As we have a end to the first half. Koli, great first half for Rewa.
Totoo ko kauti. Ito pag may mga titingin ito siguro Rewa na matay ni Bimamango kar Ronir to lito gani tiri kabitu.
Halftime here at Cakobau. Join us for the second half right here on MaiTV. Vodafone Vanua Championship Quarterfinal Rugby. Naka. Vaka, warm welcome back to Cakobau Park in Nausori. End of the first half for one of these teams, 40 minutes away from making the semi-final of the Vodafone Vanua Championship. And of course, it's Rewa with the early lead. The underdogs against the perennial champions and former holders of the Sullivan Cup trophy, Ovalau. Koli, what does Ovalau have to do in the second half?
Iyo sanjin na nabakan na anda sarap tumayin ko na matay ni Bimama karon ni Bimamango na nagarirekin na kau asar ni gito may na matay ni Bimama may baka niron na rereka si meron na binggatit aka o de mesan na nona nangganga en nangito enta na saraba en sigani kuwa waro mertu utang kitonggur na matay ni Ovalau.
Nice high kick taken by Rewa. Good return. Rewa have chasers coming through. Nice tackle, but no. Ref said he was taken while still in the air. That's a penalty to Ovalau. Yeah, he wasn't allowed to touch the ground. Oh, I think this is going to be
warning, eh? It's a warning.
Yeah, it's a warning. Very lucky on that occasion. Didn't get the timing right. Unfortunately for Rewa on that occasion, now Ovalau with the early opportunity. Advantage to Ovalau. I think it's a knock-on in the line out. Ovalau with the free play. Solid shot. Good defense from Rewa. But yes, it is a free kick for the line out infringement. But good solid defense from Rewa on that occasion, Koli.
Yeah, kukuha din na tackle to sulia na matitim ni Rewa. Hindi na ni RewaRugby na non to visual ako na polo kaya nakudro to kapong ko na matitim ni Ovalau. Iya willi ka binaka sa to na matitim ni Rewa na bunor to na dito may kina. Ang shot ba kaya nandun at kaya na tackle may berto na daw suambon.
As Ovalau go for the tap and go, the scrum hasn't been very effective. Breakdown in play. Pressure coming through from Rewa. Ovalau still have the ball, but they're behind the advantage line. Defense comes up quickly for Rewa. Manages to break the first tackle. Gets through. Defense still piling in. Ovalau need to get the ball consistently. Another big tackle coming in from Rewa. Pressure once again. Ovalau not really going anywhere. Advantage to Ovalau. Manages to break through the first tackle. Ovalau with the momentum. They have a bit of space on the open side. There's an advantage coming through. Just manages to get the pass away, but unfortunately, and it is now a penalty to Ovalau.
Toto kana rireni gitu tu berta cuma orang mati tim ni Ovalau nak kena maru itu kena polo. Aya mai lengko wala seranga en kena itu tim baka santa raida makau tu mai. Sekoya na finishing seranga. Kona pun mai lengi kena na mati tim rongo.
That is an issue for Ovalau. Koli, you're right. They have to finish off these opportunities. They won't get them every time.
Ertola binakata na mata timnya Ovalau mertona bukan dita kena non ertola na go kaya baka ertola binakata mertona olen sko na kabimbi na itik bu kapatala kina na idaba ena kena soli na polo meraon nili taku sobirau kina na len nisko.
Good line out take from Ovalau. Inside the 22, midway between the 22 and the 10. Aggressive defense coming through from Rewa. Pick and drive once again by Ovalau. Solid take. Keli. They have men on the open side if they can get the ball out. The defense rushes up, shuts that attacking rate down. Still have men on the outside. Should have passed. Fighting for the ball. They're behind the game line. There's no space. Rewa making it difficult for Ovalau. Back to the open side. Etonia. Now advantage again to Ovalau. Another free play for Ovalau. Handling bit of an issue once again with Ovalau. Bit of a scrap for the ball. Ref blows it up. Offside. I think he's calling over one of the Nasinu players, Koli.
No, the Rewa. The Rewa player.
Oh, yes, my apologies. Got a bit carried away there.
Iya, kandi na todo ko medo bani sa do tumengo na kurbi mama nongo me bakani tiko na o kina mata timerua na rebina ka mero usana reda non rubo ko tulo mero ko tulo na ka pambibi en kenang garauni na bitu tongi son ran sol.
Ovalau going for the penalty as the medics attend to an injured player. Crowd getting a bit restless. They want Ovalau to score. Nathanieli will take the kick for Ovalau. It's been rough going for Ovalau in this in the first half. They need to get points early. Lines it up just outside the 22. Got the height, got the distance, got the direction, and they're back on the board, Koli.
Kau tu nak talmen kena tokai nama tim ni Ovalau kena cini. Liuting nama tim ni Rewa na til kabit.
Substitutions coming on for Ovalau. Going off is the number 7 Chone. He's being replaced. Gap 7 points. Rewa still with the lead. Long raking kick. Bit of a juggle, but he does manage to control the ball. The substitute for Ovalau. They're just outside their 22. You wouldn't want this one to go out on the full. Kicks it in the open. Rewa allowing the ball to bounce. Space and time, but the ref has pulled it up once again. It is a penalty to Rewa. Discipline once again becoming a factor, Koli.
Kandi na todo ko ngona bonua sa nang gamelo rekin na nabo tilawa kena tubo ini bakasama en buku ni sakti ko na oda pambimbi ini sa lande betul tu ko na karoni bi mama meron na bandi takatiko na non raw discipline en ke baka erto na pinakata merto na rawatan ganga en singin ko abiro na mati timerua.
Rewa opting for their most potent attacking weapon, which is their scrum, and has helped them get this solid lead against Ovalau. They're just inside the 22. Rewa have the ability to push this one over. As the rain just starts to come down, handling conditions will be a bit difficult. Palangi will want to keep the ball in the scrum as much as possible, try and get an advantage for Rewa.
Nabunongor to sang gendo ka kinurto i Rewa ngona norto rakingo ke baka sa tutono selu bunararango norto kitunto siliwadala.
This is sunny weather for Rewa. This is their weather. Nice wraparound play, breaks the first tackle, but the ref says no. I think it was a forward pass, but it is another penalty to Rewa for the scrum. Yeah, the Ovalau scrum collapsed, giving the advantage to Rewa. Rewa looking to hammer home another couple of points, pulling in another scrum. This is bread and butter for the Rewa forwards. Ovalau under a lot of pressure. With these conditions worsening, Koli is not going to get easy for Ovalau in defense.
Iya, kandi na todo ko may baka nangongo sa reda sanggay teki pinaka na rato na dorobo ni Rewa. May baka ngona nonuton raki, ngona nonuto esa ngona nonuton kele, ngona nonuto rara. Iya on naw bake, nonong oli tumingo, ene biya puerta ko naw bake, oray. Kitu rani kitu kuta. Nito nang kitong ko.
This is their bread and butter, Rewa. As the rain really starts to hammer down. Fans trying to get out of the rain. Comes pouring down here in Cakobau. Big scrum for Ovalau. Rewa looking to push it over. It's getting slippery. Palangi want to give it out quickly. Solid shot coming in from the Ovalau defense. Rewa still with the ball. Defense needs to reset quickly. Rewa getting caught behind the game line. Ovalau defense pushing through. Another solid hit taken by the Rewa defense. But they have the ball. Ovalau trying to get there. Open side play. Big push coming in from Rewa. Yes, and the knock on. Good defense from Ovalau.
Good defense. We have worked out the may Ovalau. Ngo Rewa. Isang ninundo ng raki walang ngo. Ngo na nito ng raki talang gitu. Totoka na re-rening ito. Anda sarap ito na sini kuha ko mimpi na taon niuda. Sarap kilati ko na matitimeruan lumen rara. Levu talang biran ng daw ni veitokoni. Sarang dumibiw. Yan non sa kilati ito na kinatarin ito kinauta.
Ovalau with the defensive scrum. They'll need to clear the ball quickly. Get it to the other side of the park. As conditions worsen, handling is going to be difficult. Free kick to Ovalau. Up and go from the open side, the number 6, Sowani. He's had a good game. Playing the percentages, Ovalau. Ball bouncing and sliding. Gets into the 22. Only one defender. Space there. And of course a good solid run taking it up to the halfway. But he loses the ball. Ovalau with possession on the halfway and the scrum advantage. It's out. Bit of a mistake there from the Rewa winger on that occasion, Koli William.
Iya. Ngo solid tali tu na itutungin ko pero na matitimin ni Ovalau. Tutokon tin na di pagkatak mena polo ya. Aya may ilaga ng kena may luto tali bukan polo ni sa tutu na uda si ngo na numero 2 na timerua. Ena kena marubin na polo.
Good pressure coming through from Ovalau on that occasion. Scrum advantage to Ovalau on the halfway. 5 meters out from the sideline. Rewa trying to get their substitutes onto the field. See number 20, Glenn, getting ready. Big push coming from Rewa. Ovalau managed to get the ball out. Ref says play on. Tippy-toeing down the sideline, very close to it. Ovalau still with possession. Nice take under pressure in these really miserable conditions. Pressure coming through from the Rewa defense, but Ovalau have the ball. Playing the percentages once again, getting it down to the other side of the park. Good move, pressure coming from the Ovalau winger. Ball is still in play. Good attacking raid from Ovalau, and of course getting the ball back, Koli.
Iyo, totoo kung nanonood kang lagi itong mainggo ng mata tim ni Ovalau kapag talakin na nanonood tatang magito ng mata tim ni RewaRugby merto mundo ka ko so nanonood sa sanga ng mata tim ni Ovalau ka Warau may sulti kong go endo na line out sulti ko kin ng mata tim ni Ovalau.
That's right, line out advantage to Ovalau midway between the 22 and the try line. Good pressure coming through from Ovalau, trying to get back momentum. Fans getting behind the Ovalau team. Rewa trying to get fresh substitutions onto the field. Too many stoppages in play. It's going to be difficult for Rewa to get momentum in the second half. For Ovalau, it's do or die. Here comes the line out. Good take from Ovalau. Rewa tried to push back quickly, sack the line out. They do so effectively, but Rewa still on the back foot. Rewa, Ovalau with possession. Rewa tried to turn him. Open side play. This is dangerous. Opportunity. They get the fullback injected. He's going for the try line. It looks to be an Ovalau try in the corner to the number 11, Koli.
Ilaisa.
Good try for Ovalau, great work try, and of course using the open field, injecting the fullback into the play, and now Ovalau back in it with that try.
Yan na po kunis ko kaya ako talikin na nagkendo kay na magtimin ni Ovalau kina tini kami duti ko na magtimin ni Rewa ngalo remanta na tangga ko kaya makaya na duru sa rawan ni Raw na taitale na magtimin Rewa.
Ovalau snatching momentum with that well-worked try, injecting the fullback into the line, and of course using the speed of the winger, score in the corner, taking the score 17-15 with the kick to come to try and lock it all up in this quarterfinal clash of the Vodafone Vanua Championship.
Nakaiboto ba na Daniel kay bagaran ni nakuta na kinutukay militay kay na matatimin ni Rewa.
Danieli lining it up. Very much against the run of play. He has the distance, the direction, and the accuracy. Just falls short. 2-point difference, Koli, and this game is back on its tracks.
Saan siya na? Kawa. Nabugo talaga ni Nondo Miskoya na matitimin ni Ovalau. Baka wala tira, baka takatagir talaga may. Nandun nabito ko na matitimin ni Ovalau. Nandun kay tudake. Nandun kay lamukat ko nandun matitimin.
Rewa shell-shocked. They were dominating for vast periods of the first half and the second half. Ovalau have regained momentum, brought the game to back within 2 points. Nice high kick from Rewa. Ovalau back with possession, trying to get momentum back. Clearing the ball, still in play. Breaks the first, tries to break the second, finally gets taken down. Just short of the 10-meter line, Rewa with the ball. They'll want to keep momentum. They're on the other side of the half of Ovalau. Solid running rugby, breaks 2 tackles. Looking for options on the open side, but the Ovalau defense is there. Rewa setting up for another attacking raid. They're inside the 22. Very slow ball coming through from the base of the ruck. Another pass on the inside, tries to break through a tackle. Ovalau defense solid. They're on the 10-meter line, Rewa, as the rain stops. Rewa under the pressure. Good defense coming in from Ovalau. Once again, they have the ball. They're looking for space on the open side. There is an overlap for Rewa. Manages to get the ball away. But good defense from the Ovalau winger. Pressure coming through from Ovalau. This is wonderful. GrassrootsRugby, Koli.
Wah, reda na nung nabiso. Ilagay ito ko na polong ko rin na darubong ko sa mupalang. Kaya totokan yun na bisa kaya. mau na kenoya.
Yeah, this is the advantage. Rewa chasing through. Full back for Rewa is there. Ovalau putting pressure. Hint of a forward pass. Ref says play on. Manages to break the first tackle. This is broken rugby. There are players everywhere. We've got injuries on the field. Brings it up to the 10-meter line, Rewa. They have possession. Ovalau defense needs to reset quickly. Big pressure coming in from the Ovalau defense. Ovalau once again, that number 6 is at a game and a half for Ovalau. They have space on the open side, Rewa. They need to get the ball to the winger. He cuts inside. He doesn't pass. Good defense coming in from Ovalau. Ovalau managed to get the ball back. Ref says play on. Advantage to Ovalau and a penalty to Ovalau. Koli.
Sanjena. Nakaukawa kena tutolo ni nonuto tosota kami na mata tim ni Ovalau ruto may kovero kina polo kina mata tim ni Rewa kauko nonuto attack na tuk may na mata tim ni Rewa iya binabugale ni ruto may kaukawa to kana nonuto tatang kumaki na mata tim ni Ovalau.
Ovalau fighting back, trying to get momentum. A lot of pressure coming through. Both teams will be really exhausted after this one. This is where they got to dig deep. Ovalau still have a 2-point deficit to Rewa. Nice high kick. Gets the distance just outside the 22. This is Ovalau's opportunity. Crowd really starting to get into it, Koli.
Sasanga pa maluto mo Ovalau, iyo Ovalau ke baka nasanga men non nang gitu en sugni kuwa na revinaka men marresra nga na polongo matay men tuntun binaka na biri marribina na polo kapatali kina kina pwede gani meto sana kini lead up.
It's a scrappy line out, but Ovalau have possession. Taken behind the advantage line. They're very close to the touch line. They're on the 10-meter, but they maintain possession. Rewa defense trying to make it difficult for Ovalau. Goes for the old-fashioned up and under, base of the scrum. Pressure coming through from Ovalau, and it's a nice take. Nice take from the Rewa fullback. That was a good take, and he's taken the mark and given his team a chance to catch their breath. Koli.
Ori naman tangan nanorto tatang magitungko na matatimin ni Rewa ori dato ni singa bukan to ni ruto via Bokasuka. Nanorto pang ditaka to ni ranin norto nang gito na singa ni kuwa. Ovalau nanorto sa sanga kuwa, meron norto ko beata ni Manapolo.
Pressure coming through from Ovalau. Rewa still maintain possession. About 10 meters short of the 10-meter line. Flings it open to the open side. This is broken rugby. It's going to be dangerous for both teams. Rewa with the slight opportunity. Defense for Ovalau coming across. Tackles are being missed, but Rewa still have possession. This is exhausting rugby. Smart move from the halfback for Rewa. Get the ball down to the other side. And that's a good clearing kick after a long phase of play, Koli.
Kan dia todo ko be ko porto ko ko rosa mo palang indo na kana na po tulo pinaka tibi ko ken na be puno so reikina karan ni kila ni raw ni na ruto raw kakina na mati tim ni Rewa totokon tin na please ta ko mo ko na tangya raw ni le sulteli kin don na karan ni ruto mengi tu kin ruto esa ni rara na mati tim ni Ovalau.
Koli, last week in the game against Nasinu, Rewa, the number 9, number 10, Balangin Bulay, really were able to run the ball, run the game, but Ovalau making it very difficult for them this afternoon. We didn't see the knock on there, unfortunately, from Ovalau. It's these little mistakes in these conditions that can change the game, Koli.
Kan dia todo ko pero tolong tim ni Ovalau ngo na puno asing tuntun meron nang may baka wel kina bukan bimbi ni satok men nasa ni rara ka raw ni nabola ka kina meron na mati tim ni raw meron tampa kana skoa ya na mal mulum ya san raw ni misuli kina scrum karirike ni kukuti undo scrum na mati tim ni raw.
Ovalau forwards, hands on hips. It's been an exhausting second half. Ground conditions not good for running rugby, but they managed to score a good try, well worked, despite the dominance of Rewa. As we see Bulay, the halfback for Rewa, feeding it in. They'll want to use their scrum to try and get an advantage, try and get another penalty. It collapses, and yes, the advantage is there. Rewa get the free play. Set piece play, running it on the loop. Rewa have the one-man overlap. Shoulder charge there in the corner, but he's going for the try line. Still short by 10 meters, ball still in play. Rewa maintain possession. Ref still playing advantage, I think. Bulay looking for runners on the inside. Finds one of his big forwards and he gets rumbling, gets pushed, gets some help. He's about 5 meters short. Rewa with the opportunity. So close to the line, but big defense coming in from Ovalau on that occasion. Fighting for their lives, Ovalau. They're pushing Rewa back. Rewa still have possession. Bulai looking for runners on the inside, using one of his support runners coming in. Goes for the dummy, looks for the runner, tried to score, try in the corner. Ref says no. Will he still play the advantage, or was the advantage lost? No, there's a substitute coming on. Ovalau get freshmen on the park. I think they're going to go for the line out, so the advantage was played. Good series of play from Rewa, Koli, but great defense from Ovalau.
Kandi na todo ko. Toto kandi na re-rening ito ruborita ka na mata timi ruarua. Ay nanon to tatang maki kapatalan kina ay nakau dagito manapolo sa toto ka saranga rubi na saranga mata timi rua may bakardo ka na kasi new kay manray. Si balang.
Oh yes, finally some light. Excellent.
Toto ka.
As we have the line out to Ovalau. Ovalau forwards are going to try and get this clear. Ball still alive. Rewa with options on both sides. Only one defender coming up for Ovalau. Hint of a forward pass. Ref says play on. Yes, no. It was a forward pass. Pressure Koli on Rewa.
Yeah. Apa mo na nabunong may pagkausuportado kung nabunong ko sa nang kailangan na nonda tubo kini bakasama nabukun ni kana sa mulu may nayango nabukun ngitong garabiti ko nabutulwa nagay pagkato ng onong pero to mata timin Rewa naribina ka merto na turbo ka maluto ng onong ko may pagka nirto liuti ko merto mabaka salito ng onong ko tirka bitu kitin kalim.
This quarterfinal has lived up to expectations. It is a battle. Both teams looking at trying to make it through to the semi-finals of the Vodafone Vanua Championship. Ovalau really putting the pressure. They'll want to get the ball out quickly, which they do. Looking for runners on the outside. Ovalau have a number of substitutions. It's been difficult, but I think it's going to be a penalty to, yes, it is a penalty to Rewa. Holding on to the ball. Good play from the Rewa backs. Now they'll have a line out inside the 22 of Ovalau. Rewa with the advantage. Time very much against Ovalau. They've had a great game this afternoon, Koli.
Tutok ka po ando na bakoti ng gito may damay sarap ito kanang singin ko. Kaya ko na natuturo pa maluto ko na mata timin Rewa may bakanir to sa kila willing kami natin ng una.
Sun starts to set here in Rewa. More substitutions coming on. About 10 meters out of the 22. It's a good solid attacking base for Rewa. As the ref has a chat to the Ovalau team. Rewa with the advantage in the line out. They want to keep this close to hand. Long line out to the back, but unfortunately not straight Koli. I think they should have just gone for the front of the line out, not all the way to the back.
Saan dyan na? Kung napuno may pagkani sa abobola kating nirto ato puto manika wall sumbul liminiti kung napuno merto na pagka tulo na kina namata timi ruarua nabukungan ni sa tiko na oda kapatalan kina ikesa nang gelore kina non dapat tilawa kina pagkatuloy takin nang gito mataw may rawa ni rawatikin na nanganga nang gito ang karabito ko ni signi ko.
Realizing that their scrum is under a lot of pressure from Rewa, they go for the own line out. A bit scrappy, but a good win for Ovalau. They have the ball, but looks to be a fumble and a knock-on. Yeah, unfortunately, those low passes in these wet conditions make it difficult. So now the scrum to Rewa Koli.
Mata tim ni Rewa kiba karuto na binakata merto na pagkandi tigirto nang gito ni signi kuan na binaka merto nande ito nga arton dambit nga enang esa ni Rara ni Ovalau may pagkarto sa tiko kina nangonong ko presa levu sungko kina mata timin Ovalau nirto na sanga merto na kutap na polo kina sinan ko Rara na matimin Rewa meron ni popola ka tirto tan kina nanuto line score.
Pressure scrum for Ovalau. Casino with the advantage. You can see the number 9 for Rewa, Valangi, examining his options. Good halfback, this boy. Got some serious talent. Great future ahead of him. They'll want to keep it in the scrum as long as possible. Try and get the advantage. And the penalty. Big push coming in from Rewa. Bad pass from the base of the scrum, but I think they have advantage. They want to keep the ball down in this part of the half as long as possible, Rewa. They're fighting their way tooth and nail, trying to fight for every meter. Using their forwards, one-off runners and the pods. Rewa defense off their feet. Using their big forwards once again, Rewa. But a penalty against the run of play to Ovalau. And more back check from the Rewa pack. Advantage to Ovalau. They have the ball about 10 meters short of halfway. Advantage for the offside. They have space. Unfortunately, the pass did not go to hand. But another penalty to Ovalau, Koli. Discipline.
Yeah, nabunongo nondol merto na rin kung may pagkausaporta juga na tiberurua ena kena marroy juga na disiplin kapatan laki na ena kena tuba ki binaga ni baka sama ena kena rawan din nagitor juga ngongo may baka ni sa tiga buwatan na yango sanran din na dukin na nabi matanggal ital iso karan di bukalangga nasasanga ni kena may rawati naganga ini siguni ko.
I'm really running out for Ovalau. This is probably be one of their last opportunities. The line out will be taken midway between the 22 and the 10.
Na matatim na wala ukerto sa ngawala ngayon doon natutongi kaya nirto na tangga tiduro sa rawan nir abukan titigirto men ay nailakala kaning gito nang garabin sigini ko kaya baka sa buwaro may tama na gito ko.
Nice line out take. Ovalau set themselves up. Rewa try to sack it. Collapse the maul. Big push coming in from Ovalau. No advantage. Everyone fighting for possession. Rewa pouring in the forwards, trying to get the ball back. Ovalau still with possession, rushing up defense from Rewa, but there is space. He breaks the tackle. This is an opportunity for Ovalau. He cuts back in. Defense for Rewa gets there. Good solid shot from the Rewa defense. Ovalau still with the ball, about 5 meters short of the 22. Not the best of passes, but Ovalau have the ball. They managed to get themselves in an opportunity. Defense coming across, but that looks to be a shoulder charge from Rewa. We'll see what the ref says. Yeah, he's reaching into his pocket. That's a shoulder charge from the number 4, Aquila. And it is a yellow card. This is a big game changer for Ovalau. It was a mixture of good defense and, of course, exhaustion from the Rewa defense that caused that shoulder charge. Unfortunately, now Ovalau with the advantage, Koli.
Kandi na may pagkasuporta juga kaya baka erto baka tulo binang nongo sa overrun na timi ko na bunua sa nang itakataki kina na tubag na baka sama na baka tulo binaka ene kenran solid ko na gitu binaka meraw ni kakko ni solid ken ni tutongi kina mata timi ka do.
Ovalau opting for the line out. About 10 meters out from the try line, Ovalau. This will be their chance. Do or die.
Ayaw kaya baka wakabitan ni Ovalau. Aw kaya sulit seranga may atang mata-mata.
Iyo eh?
Iya.
Yeah.
Guys nga new team ni Ovalau siya nga new kapitan ni team ni Ovalau.
That's right. Yeah, they gambling eh?
Iya.
Big gamble this one. Can they pull it off, Ovalau? They've been on the back foot. They've managed to claw themselves back with some well-worked tries. This will probably be their final opportunity of the afternoon.
Iya.
Rewa one man down. Haven't been under this much pressure in a long time, Rewa. Ovalau setting themselves up for an attacking raid. They'll firstly want to win the line out as they have a little committee meeting while the Rewa team resets for a substitution. They're about 10 meters short. They secure the line out, Ovalau. Everybody comes in for the big push. Going nowhere, so they go for the option of the pick and drive from the base. Ovalau with the ball. Rewa forwards coming through. Ref checking. Ball's available. Ovalau will reset with another drive. Pressure coming through the Rewa defense. Ovalau still going for the pick and drive. Now they unleash their backs. Good defense from Rewa. Ovalau still with possession midway between the 22 and the 10. Breaks through the first tackle, the Ovalau winger. Gets momentum back. Ref says play on. I think Rewa have one possession. And yes, it is a penalty to Rewa. Good defensive effort from Rewa, Koli.
Kandi na tuto ko na nututa ko makina mati tim ni Rewa. Me ba kausa berta ko mba ke ba kartu mo telo na mati tim ni Ovalau. Me artu atangeta na tutunya.
And looks like Ovalau's quarterfinal may be over. We'll see what the ref says. Ball doesn't go out, it's still alive. Is there another chapter to this drama? Just outside the 10-meter line, Ovalau with another chance. They have men on the open side if they take it. The forwards decide to take it up from themselves. There's lots of space on the open side if they can get the ball there quickly. The Rewa defense is a bit thin. Oh, unfortunately, just couldn't get it right at the end. And that's a knock-on to Ovalau. And I think, yes, it's a knock-on. Rewa with the feed. Ovalau hanging their heads in frustration. Unfortunately, just hasn't come off for them in the second half, Koli.
Kandi na tuto ko sa angkain doan ng gitumbul ang tasarabot ko and isikan ko nanon rusot ito ko na mati tim ni Ovalau kina mati tim ni Rewa and sa ngaman na pagkanti ko ay nagitong ko may pagkani sa liti ko Ovalau nanon na sang ko may tambakatali and doon nas ko semen na bito tali doon na pwede meron ni pagkanti tigirto nila ko ni gito ang garabit ko and ngono ko may madal kina o they minadala ko take kina semifinal.
That's right, it's all about the semifinals. There's no tomorrow for one of these teams. Injuries are plenty. Both teams have been exhausted. Defense has been excellent. We've had some great tries despite the conditions. More substitutions coming on for Ovalau. Ref says timeout. Both teams taking a break. This quarterfinal, Koli, has not been what it's expected. Nasino coming in, Rewa coming in as the favorites. And of course, Ovalau making it really difficult for them in this quarterfinal.
Kandi na tuto ko order na leni puno abir ng dolo veitokoni na nonra sarabo to kan nabi kay ayado tigol manrara kar nangunang ko bele lagi sini sipo kan ditigiriti ko oday enara ni may non nanganga sigani ko.
Looks to be quite a serious injury to one of the Rewa players. They're calling for the stretcher. FijiRugby investing a lot in professional medical support for these teams. Ensuring player safety is paramount throughout the competition. As they bring on the stretcher, looks to be quite a severe injury. Even the ref is concerned. Hopefully the injury is not too serious. It's just precaution. As we see one of your relatives, Koli, enjoying the game this afternoon. That's right, the pride of Ovalau enjoying the game this afternoon. Yeah, here we go. Having a great time enjoying the Vodafone Vanua Challenge. Ovalau clawing themselves back into this quarterfinal, probably with one last opportunity after this very long break. As we see some of the fans, more Ovalau fans. You think you were, like you said, you think you were in Ovalau rather than Rewa, eh? With the amount of fans from Ovalau that are here this afternoon. But this is what it's all about. Grassroots rugby at its very best. And of course, more quarterfinal action coming tomorrow. Going to be a great weekend for the Vodafone Vanua Championship. As the injured player gets taken off, round of applause from both teams. Hopefully he's not too badly injured. Medical staff will ensure that he has the best medical treatment available. And of course, we look forward to seeing him this is where it gets difficult. This is a prolonged break. Both teams will want to finish off strongly. It's a 2-point difference. Rewa still in the lead. They've had a hard run of it this afternoon. Ovalau have come here ready to fight. A lot of pressure coming through. Referee just waiting for the injured player to be taken off the field before we resume this one. A lot of concern on the officials' faces. We get back into it. It's still the knock. Rewa with the scrum. Ovalau will need to win this back quickly because time is running out, Koli.
Yeah. Inelang talaga ni gitungo mata timin Rewa naruto sa nga meron ng maro binang lapolong ko kebaka urto sin binagata me na kubitan me virtu ng gangga ini signi ko.
Rewa will want to push this. Big push coming from Ovalau. They managed to wheel it. Rewa get the ball away. They want to get it into the half of Ovalau. Bounces the ball nicely. We settle for the line out. Midway between the 10 and the 22. Ovalau with the ball. They're on the wrong side of the park. They need to get the ball down to the other side quickly. Rewa defense setting up strongly. Shorten line out for Ovalau. They're going to want to run this. But no, it's a free kick to Ovalau. Closing the gap too early, Rewa. It's a short arm penalty, so they can't go for the line out. They'll have to tap and go. That's what they do. Big run coming in from Ovalau. They still have possession. Advantage now to Ovalau. Just what they wanted. This is a free play for Ovalau. Good defense from Rewa. Scrappy play, but the penalty still for Ovalau. And this is their chance, Koli. I think time is really against them. Go for the tap and go. He's on the halfway line. Rewa defense hadn't set up. Ovalau with the ball. They're over the halfway. They're midway between the half and the 10. They have possession, but it's static ball. Allows the Rewa defense to come up. Ovalau still with possession. Running out of ideas. Gets caught behind the game line on this occasion. Sowani, the number 6. But there is space on the open side. Ovalau with the ball. They need to get the ball back inside. They're flirting with the touchline. Good solid shot coming from Rewa. Ball still says play on, but a knock on, unfortunately, to Ovalau. As the ref looks at his watch. That was a good series of play, but good defense from Rewa, Koli.
Tutok din ng gito kaya nanonood tago mga katihunggor na matatimin ni Rewa nanonood sa sangat kumay na matatimin na Ovalau meron na sanga meron ng ganggayan na signi ko.
As we have another injury break. Another Rewa player is injured. Ref having a talk to Sowani, the open side flanker for Ovalau. Rewa still one man down.
Overall meron na virin na lomanis kram gore na matatim ni Rewa.
You'll want to use these forwards. And milk a penalty. They come in with the big push, Rewa. Ovalau's holding, but they're moving back. Ref says play on. Starting to fracture. That was really good play from Ovalau. They let Rewa push and then lose the ball, and now Ovalau with another chance. They're on the 10-meter line. They have possession. Rewa defense resets. Ovalau with the ball, but it's static. They're getting it behind the game line. Pressure coming in from the Rewa defense. Ref blows it up. I think he'll go back for the penalty to Ovalau. Or it's just a knock-on. So Ovalau will have the scrum feed. Two-point difference. Pressure cooker, this one. Rewa defense holding. Ovalau looking to try and just get that bit of magic to just try and break through the line like they did early in the second half. They need just a little bit of inspiration. They need to win the scrum quickly, get it out. Swan is good, gets the ball out cleanly, but he loses it, unfortunately. Now Rewa with possession, piling through, trying to get the ball back. They have a bit of an overlap on the open side if they can get the ball out, but good defense from Ovalau, shutting it down. Ref blows it up again. No advantage to Rewa. Ref stops the game. Substitutions coming on for Ovalau. Fresh legs on the field. Linesman comes in to have a chat. Apparently something happened in the last play. Interesting to see what the ref says here. Long discussion. Looks like a shoulder charge. So we'll stay with the scrum feed to Rewa. Time back on. That long break making it difficult for both teams to get momentum back. It's been a great quarterfinal between these two proud unions, both looking for an opportunity to make it to the semi-finals, Koli.
Kandi na todo ko matatimin ni Rewa sa ngabon ni binakata na Sulya. Sulya na nanggitong ko Ovalau din ni Mebaka ni Marreti ko kan nodrau en ratu to kombawe na sigari ko.
Advantage to Rewa. This is a free play for Rewa. Ovalau defense comes up quickly. Rewa know they have the advantage. Langi on the open side, looks for the kick. Pressure coming through from Rewa. Ovalau with the ball. Ref says play on. Advantage was accrued. Ovalau now back with possession. They have the ball, but they're on the wrong side of the park. Another drop ball, but the ref says no, that it was backwards. Ovalau very fortunate. They're trying to get the ball to the open side. There's a bit of space, but they're all forwards. Needs to come on the cut-in. Pressure starting to tell. We have the line out. Ovalau fans getting a bit frustrated. Handling has been poor in the second half, especially the latter stages. Combination of the ground conditions and fatigue making it difficult for Ovalau to finish off the set piece moves. defense from Ovalau.
Tutukan na nang luto po ang titigir tutukan na matitimin niyo wala nila kalau kita ni sige ni kuha karto na sanga merto na bital tol pwede may baka ni wiwa gitu ngo narua na pwede.
Defense for Rewa comes up, fighting tooth and nail to the halfway line. Ovalau still have the ball, desperately looking for some inspiration to try and get them over the game line. They're inside the half of Rewa now. Ovalau still with the ball, but it's very static, slow ball coming through. Maintaining possession, Ovalau. Looks to be a fumble, but the ref says play on. Ovalau with the ball once again. Rewa's defense holding. They're fighting for every millimeter. Ovalau. This is a wonderful battle of brute rugby, Koli.
Kandi na to kamav. Reda na to sa sanga tumigor na matitimin ni Ovalau. Siya nga po kung tinutong kay Bisulit Talapol kina matitimin ron. May baka to sa kilati ko ni sa alaga ng una. Fighting
tooth and nail for every millimeter. Ovalau. Rewa trying to get men over the ball. They might have it. They might have secured possession. Kick the ball out. Look to the referee. It is a line out to Ovalau. Ref will play on. The ref and the linesman have a quick chat. But it looks to be a penalty, I think, for a high tackle. High tip tackle from Rewa, and Ovalau with the penalty, but they are out of range from the kick. So this will probably be their final opportunity. A high tackle and I think it was a high tackle and a tip tackle. So they're about 5 meters short of the 10-meter line, Ovalau, but they're going for goal, Koli.
Wakandua. Nabautilawan ko may pagkausap pertaot si Mervin ko kaya andon numero 2 kapan nakkenasoli na tutang ito man dahil liu iyo pinakad ni Sebo nang una araw talaga nirto na pantitigir to na tutungin gori sa pagano ito OvalauRugby nabukon ni tangke sa waro may tangke ti gori may ko na nirto namba tinikalima na dorobong ko na danili.
Nasino had thought this game was over. They kicked the ball out. Discipline was really poor. Sorry, my apologies. Rewa. I'm getting so excited. This 2-point game is just killing me, Koli. Killing me. This to take the lead. Can he do it? It's about 45 meters out. Has the height, has the distance. Just short of the uprights. But no, I think the ref is calling a knock-on. And that's it. Rewa qualified for their first ever semi-final, Koli.
Sa Gina, tutukon din na naririnig itong may sarawit ko na sige ni Kuwa. Saan may pagandita ko Rewa, ni non hindi na nga narara. And sige ni Kuwa, saan Gina, may baka na kinataw ito na uta, may baka ng Raki, non Raki, may baka ng kaya siliwatala.
Rewa march on to the semi-final. Ovalau heartbroken here in Ratu Cakobau. Players are on their knees. It's been an exhausting game of Vanua Challenge Cup Rugby. Thank you for joining us right here on MaiTV for this quarterfinal championship match. Rewa going through to the semi-final. Ovalau heartbroken. We'll have to wait one more year. Vinaka.